Hold on, I'm gonna put the link up. Hold on. We actually we live on air now, so you guys can talk whatever you was doing. I just gotta put the link out. We live.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
you don't know how to work a computer.
No, I don't know. It should just stop. I don't know what the hell, man. What's going on with OBS? It just crashed.
Look, Mass was gone for like a week and it all became hell.
Yeah, we back. We on air though. We on air. It did this shit yesterday doing BGST. You know what I mean?
But what was you saying? You were saying talking about the games that you prefer.
Like people are gonna prefer what they prefer. People are gonna play what they play. Like good, bad, and different. People need to stop telling other people. Like I'm gonna keep telling you wrong. And that's my right to tell you wrong, and it's your right to tell me to kiss your ass. Because that's what I'm gonna do when you decide to tell me what I should or should not enjoy.
But hold on, here's a question: What did Aaron Greenberg say about? Because this will be the title of the new show that we're doing. We're gonna talk about this soon. It's gonna be making a whole new show. Aaron Greenberg said what he say about Crackdown?
Oh, he said they didn't need Crackdown 3 because the third-party games was gonna have them covered.
Aaron Greenberg said he did.
It was too crowded. Which that's the smartest damn thing Microsoft has done this year.
I mean,
like the Crackdown is already gonna die on the 22nd of February.
Hey, if that was the case, what other games were they gonna drop? I mean, besides Crackdown.
They're not talking about first down.
There's too many third-party competition.
I'm a third party. They're not talking about first-party games.
Right. So there's a whole bunch of third party. There's Red Dead and Call of Duty and Battlefield. Like right, it's crowded. Just like winter is always crowded. And Microsoft needs to do this more because Sony has started to do this. Sony started to release their games in the spring, and then they release their games right before the winter rush. So you catch it on both ends. But they don't release shit. They not release shit after Spider-Man. Ain't nothing else released until February 22nd. So Microsoft will drop Forza, and then nothing's released until February 22nd. They need to keep doing that. Release your games, your first party stuff in the spring and the summer when the drought is, quote unquote, so people will buy it. And then in the winter, the third party's gonna do what the third parties do.
Right.
And that's a smart strategy because if you think about it, by Sony putting out their games first, they're creating buzz for that year. You know, we look at things annually. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so by the time we get to the end of the year, you've already set in people's minds.
I gotta pay the bills. If they left it, I couldn't see it. I don't see no much in.
No, they talking about because you keep shutting it down.
It ain't my fault, man. I don't know if the hotkeys or what, bro.
They said stop stealing Wi-Fi from McDonald's, bro.
Hey man, fuck y'all. I got little feet. I stepped on the wire. My little ass feet stepped on. Ain't no bugging the fuck out. But no, I'm sorry. But back to what you're saying about Aaron Greenberg. I didn't mean to be indignant. Now listen, from the title when I read right. Being messy. I thought they were saying they had too much John Blade.
No, they weren't saying.
They said there's too much. You know, it's crowded.
BG 20. Now listen, Dirk. Now I would hate to question your integrity. You're not damaged.
Oh shit.
No,
that's what he said. He said it's crowded. That's what he said. He said it's crowded.
Angers and no shit like that.
It's because people read the clickbait title.
Okay. Yeah. But here's what I don't understand because if you're saying it's crowded now, look at February. You got Anthem,
but this is the thing. Yeah,
but they're not Call of Duty though.
Release date for February before everybody else put out their release date, and then all of a sudden February filled up real fast. Right? They got caught with their pants down.
Yeah, they gotta go out like January at this point.
Everybody looked and said, "Oh, Crackdown's out there. Oh shit, yeah, let me put my shit out there against Crackdown."
Right?
They can't delay it again, man. They can move it up a week or something, but they can't delay that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
you need to move it up like a month.
Yeah, right, but I don't think January is a good time.
It don't matter where they put it. It's a wrap. Crackdown is DOA.
Crackdown's probably an L.
Crackdown is 100% DOA.
Crackdown was always a second-rate joint. I mean, it had its fun spurts and moments, but the moment that the moment
dream lived on, we thought we were gonna get something.
Yeah, as soon as they announced talking about the cloud no more, it's whatever.
Hey, if Game Pass helped that dog shit Sea of Thieves, it can help anything. I'm sorry.
It'll be a value.
He does have a point that Sea of Thieves is dog shit. That is a very valid point.
Who was actually taking up Sea of Thieves though? Was it Post? I think we didn't. We got to get Magana Days on that. We got post a couple of days damage controlling for that goddamn Sea of Thieves.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
We don't need to poke around that time frame.
Hey yo, look at some. We got your guys ain't going out with the right crew. Man, that game was dog shit.
You don't need to go around that time frame.
Yeah. What else was happening on that time frame?
Anthem come out in February too, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know your boy, I got my doubts about that
Anthem,
too.
Anthem, Days Gone, Metro Exodus, like Crackdown died. Crackdown died.
Yeah.
You said Crackdown died.
Crackdown died on what day was E3? That's the day Crackdown died.
No, but I said that before that.
Crackdown was on life support up until that point. And then they pulled the plug on the day.
That plug.
Yeah. Man, Crackdown somewhere on crack right now.
Yo, remember that?
You know shit was spooky when we were saying wait until Comic-Con and we saw that. That's when it was.
Man, no.
They might as well cancel that joint. Ain't nobody waiting for that game no more.
Yeah.
Unless you're a super diehard Xbox fan. Well, he's a super diehard Xbox fan.
We ain't played the first two though.
What? What are you waiting for?
You ain't played the first two. We're waiting for three.
I got a feeling that Crackdown's gonna be amazing. They haven't said shit about it.
Yeah. When Phil Spencer got on stage and said, "We're not talking about the cloud anymore," I said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
These things.
He waiting for a game. He ain't played the first two.
No.
I'm just gonna advise everybody: don't jump on the Crackdown. It's gonna get canceled bandwagon. Don't do that shit.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
Don't jump on the cloud thing. Doesn't work. Don't do that shit. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you how to avoid L's.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen,
there's a lot of people gonna be catching L's.
It's gonna work. And there's going to be dog shit. All of those things are true.
No, it's not going to be what they promised. They're 100%.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be what they promised.
That's not.
Right, and I agree that it's not going to be what they promised. It's going to come out. You're going to be able to destroy
that's going to work to an extent. That's what you mean.
Right, it's going to work. It's going to work. You're going to be able to destroy a whole bunch of shit. You ain't going to be able to take down everything in the city and then refresh and do it again. Yeah. You're going to be able to destroy a whole bunch of shit.
Because first of all, listen, the tech that's supposedly had to start, quote unquote, powering the game got bought by another company and they didn't switch.
Yeah, that's how you knew it was bad. That's where you should have been worried.
No, but that tech was that.
Oh shit! What happened? Fill me in.
That tech is still with Microsoft. He was helping Microsoft. He was helping Microsoft build that tech.
Yeah, but he left as soon as they got bought out. That's
so what? Whatever he has helped Microsoft with, they own that shit.
Yeah, he said his part was done by the time he left.
Done by the time he left.
He said by the time I left, Microsoft was done. I don't know what state
y'all ready to give me L's already.
He ran away from the L.
Hey, Post.
You're the one who tweeted out Crackdown wasn't gonna make it. So I don't even want to hear
I'm on my fuck shit tonight. What's up, Z?
He already said after he left, he said whatever Microsoft decides to do with this tech, they can do with it.
Right, he ran away.
Y'all know Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, and like I said, like going back when I don't know if you read it. I think you did read post with the guy with the developers and the other guy gave me the game. Shit is utter fucking shit. And to be fair, Crackdown has never been the fucking Gears, a Halo, or a fucking Forza. So I don't understand what all the fucking hype was about. Or even some of these Xbox guys that are hyping it up. That's not the game. It's never been the game to hype up. So I don't even understand it. Like, at the end of the day, like, I would much rather them have fucking canned fucking Crackdown and gave a Scalebound. Like, we could fucking switch. I ain't even gonna bullshit you. You know what I mean?
Look, the only reason why that the bots are hyping up Crackdown is because they stepped on the bear trap that was laid out by the ponies. The ponies kept talking shit. Scalebound's canceled. What y'all doing with Crackdown? And then the Xbox just fell all over it. And then they went off. Remember, it got canceled last year. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gave a shit really about Crackdown. They saw the destructible environments and they said that looks cool, but what else we got coming down the pipeline because they knew Crackdown was mediocre. And that's the definition of the whole gen. We keep falling for the shit that the ponies is putting out there. It's ridiculous.
Here's a fair question or a fair assessment, right? I can't get the truth on BGST, right, from those guys. Maybe to be honest, right?
You can't now because Lethal done killed all the motherfuckers.
Now here's the thing, right? Now. Not to get back on the whole Spider-Man thing again, but just to be fair, we got to call a spade a spade. At this moment right here, is it safe to say that Sony is just better at making video games or the video game business?
No.
Yes.
That video game business. Sure, making video games because they didn't make Spider-Man.
Well, whatever. So, I'm not. Getting games or acquiring talent. Getting the
sure. Game. That's why I said the video game business. Yes, I'll give them the video game business.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
Because look, it's two different classes. It's like I always use the scenario: Ruth Chris Steakhouse and Golden Corral. You know what I'm saying? And they got to be managed differently, whichever one you prefer. Okay, they both booming businesses, right? But they got to be managed differently. And what I see with Microsoft is they don't have the organization embedded in them to properly manage and facilitate first party. That's why I'm like, they were more successful when they had partnerships with companies, big name companies, to do big name games. They didn't do that this gen, and therefore that's why we're at where we're at.
Yeah.
It's not them. Their first party, like them, like making something first party from the ground up has never been what got Microsoft where they got in the gaming business. People got to understand that. So that's why when they got these 5 new studios, it's like, okay, let's wait and see. I'm not jumping out the window because when have they ever started a studio from the ground up? You know what I'm saying? With the game idea starting with them from the ground up that just flew, to the tops.
Yeah, because they bought Bungie, right?
That's what most of these Sony and Microsoft. That's how they do. Like Naughty Dog didn't start off as a Sony studio. Like Insomniac didn't start off as a Sony studio. They just buy studios. Both of these. They rarely build them. They just buy them, and then from there take it from there.
They manage it from there
and manage it from there, right?
But Microsoft Microsoft is good at, okay, that's the game that we bought you for. Keep making that game. That's what they're good at as far as when they acquire studios. But when it comes to new genre-defining games, they're better working with EA. We want to do something big. You know what I'm saying? Like, here goes the duffel bag. Show us what you got. We'll check with you every so often. That's what they're good at.
But here's the thing. What I don't understand, maybe I'm a little wet behind the ears. You're Microsoft, right? How you say the behemoth? Then the third, which is the wealthiest company in the world, right? How could you just not go out there and acquire the goddamn talent? If you can't grow it within, right? You can. You have what you call the open checkbook, or whatever the case, and go out there and just buy, the talent or some studios.
That's what they're doing now. Well,
they're doing it now.
Unfortunately, they're doing it now. Not back then.
Right. It just took to the end of the gen. They're doing that now. They opened the checkbook. They went and bought studios
and the talent.
And talent. They went and stole talent away from Crystal Dynamics and Naughty Dog, and they went and acquired, Rockstar. They went and acquired the talent. It just took a long ass time for them to do it.
Okay, now here's the thing. Now, who's to say? And we're looking at the glasses being half empty. Not to be pessimistic, but who's to say they won't gut those studios for what they're working on, and then it'd be cheaper for them to take whatever they're working on? Because look, we've seen what happened with Lionhead. You've seen what happened with a couple of studios that did Max Curse of the Brotherhood. Forgot the name of the studio. A couple of those studios they did own before, right? They just took the IP, the assets, and it was cheaper for them to instead of having a studio, let them be Microsoft employees and be responsible for healthcare, health insurance. One dad broke it down for me. But anyway, and I don't want to see too much. And it was cheaper for them to get the IP, whatever the assets, and give them, to a second party. Like who's doing Crackdown? What's the name? Moonwalker.
Sumo Digital.
Yeah, Sumo Digital. You know what I mean? And it's cheaper for them to do it that way, and to hire them that way.
But I mean, at the time they were getting rid of the studios like Lionhead, it was clear that they were downsizing in general. Like right now, it looks like they're upgrading, if anything, and they're opening up the checkbook.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think the better question might be, Z. Kind of like what you're saying. Why are they going this route where they're buying all these studios instead of strengthening their partnerships? What we got to remember again is that the biggest games that came out of Xbox were the games that they did collaboratively with other studios. The problem isn't so much. Reading Pixels, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels opened my. There's so many examples in Xbox on how the management style of their first parties just was flawed. Even in the highlight Cinderella days where Peter Moore was there, you know what I'm saying? It was flawed. And I think Microsoft should have just started with a couple of studios at first, started managing them. I think they bit off a little bit more than they can chew. I don't know if they're going to be able to manage all 5 of these studios. And have them put out.
What is y'all talk? Look, man, hold on.
Let
me jump in here because you know I ain't got that much time.
Hasn't talked in a while.
Y'all can't keep doing this. First, y'all was saying Microsoft was doing too many partnerships and they need first party studios. Now they building first party studios and motherfuckers want them to go back to doing partnerships.
I never said that.
That's what it sounds like you said.
No, I've been saying since day one. Their best shit has been when they did BioShock, Mass Effect. I've been saying that since day one.
No, BioShock, they missed that boat. They had an opportunity to buy BioWare, and they missed it.
That was dumb.
That was the dumbest. Yeah. That will always be one of their biggest failures.
Hold on, pay the bills real quick. Shout out to Yobo1245. He says, no way that Crackdown 3 will come 2/22. Expected delay or cancellation.
I expect them to move it up or just
release that day. I expect their shit to come out. They're not canceling it. That's
Hey, don't y'all think the game done by now? I mean, what more can they do to that game that's going to
done? They ain't showed shit on that game. They ain't showed. See, I don't know,
question,
man.
Though. Even we still don't know about the multiplayer, right?
When don't know about that, man. It's September, man.
Yeah, man. When are they going to have a show? Like we done miss Gamescom, we didn't miss E3. So when are they going to show the multiplayer?
I don't know.
They can't show that shit at no Tokyo Game Show.
They say it's still in there, but we don't know when.
Listen, they just gonna drop that shit and get a quick Game Pass sale and a quick sale and then just call it a day.
Sadly, that might be the case
because they probably lost a lot of money on that shit.
Yeah. And listen, they lost a lot of clout with this game. This game has been hovering over them for damn near 5 years.
It's not a huge game, though. I don't understand.
I know,
but that's because we have nothing else, and we're hanging on to like it's a huge game.
No, listen, the fans have held on to that. This game, Crackdown, with the crowd destruction and all this stuff, they've held on to it. They won't let it go. And even Phil had to come and say, yeah, about that cloud thing. I shouldn't have kind of spoke too soon. I shouldn't have hyped it up too much. The game is going to come along. I honestly think the game is going to come out, and it's going to be what it was probably always going to be, right? It's going to be mediocre. It may not be bad, but it's not going to be the cream of the crop.
There's no other way to say it but to say it. This is why, and J Dubs was leading to what I was. This is why I said what I said. Let's fuck it. This new regime is incompetent. They're horrible at management. Sorry. And for them to all of a sudden, they done fucked up the releases that they've had in their belt under Phil. And for them to all of a sudden grab 67 new studios and think that shit gonna go right, I don't know. I think they should have staggered this a little bit.
In all fairness, you're the one who was claiming they should do second party, right?
Say that again?
You're the one claiming they should do second party, right? Crackdown is all second party.
With Big Sumo Digital ain't nothing big about Suja besides being a flop.
When BioWare came out, or when Mass Effect came out, the reason that Xbox got it was because BioWare wasn't BioWare. Not for real.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So like all even the BioShocks, all these are works with mid-tier studios at the time that became the studios you talk about with reverence. Like they didn't all, when they was doing these deals, they was doing them with the same type of studios they bought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Mass, I think you can agree to this. Second party may not be the best way to go moving forward because at the end of the day, I think a lot of these studios are going to be bought up. Like even Insomniac right now, I bet you Sony's trying their best to get them. I'm not saying they will, but they're trying to do something.
The Insomniac's not going to sell. Ted Price, he's just not going to do that. But like, this is the thing, right? Like, I believe that they needed to go the first party route, and this is why. Like, I do agree with Moss that
they suck.
Last generation, they were all about the second party, and this generation, they've been all about jack shit. Like they tried that, but Sony had the windfall, so everybody went with Sony. All the people that they were trying to make deals with went with Sony, and that's just how that shit worked out. But they needed to go first party in order to bring all the cost in house,
right?
Because second party, you end up in a scale-bound situation where you're paying people to make a game, but you're not managing them people. So you can't tell them. You can tell them where there's a deadline.
Another bad second party.
Right. You can tell them where there's a deadline, and they don't have to meet that shit.
And then you kind of going back and forth over the ownership of the IP.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
like
certain studios saying, "Oh, we'll do this, but we got to retain the IP."
Like
and
Sunset Overdrive,
you know what I'm saying?
like fucking Rise.
Yeah, and so that's why I was good for them to go first party wise, because whatever they make from here on out from these studios, they retain the IP, and they ain't got to go through all that bullshit. Okay, we'll make it, but we want to keep the IP.
Yeah, and post up. While it was a strength last generation to do those second party deals, you gotta admit that almost fucked them over for the future because they left them.
They said two. I can understand if they would have did second party and while doing that, building a first party.
Exactly, that's where they.
That would have made this. It would have took a lot. You know what I'm saying? It would have made this generation a lot better than what it was. But since they held on to that second, it fucked them. Absolutely. They did that shit for too long.
That's exactly what I was about to say. All of the third, like the second party deals, the BioShocks, the Mass Effect 1, all of those. You know what? But you guys are right. That ruined them in the future. They didn't build their first party.
I got you. I think though, but what that did is that laid a foundation. Like that always left Microsoft in the realm of trying to find the new thing, trying to find the new buzz. Like my big ups to my man, the geeky nerd. He said, "Look, even though BioWare, which I will concede that to Mass, BioWare wasn't huge, but BioWare had some huge games under its belt. It had Jade Empire, it had Old Republic, so they were proven." Right. This generation, they really didn't go with a studio that really, had that type of that had those stripes under them. You know what I'm saying? Because they were on a different mindset. I get that. But by them focusing on second party a lot, that always kept Microsoft with Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, whoever, always looking for the new thing. That's what I
problem with that, Matt, is you can't do that anymore. Like right now, all these second party studios, they're almost going by. Unless if it's huge like Insomniac, they're not around.
And it's not even just that.
They're not around because Microsoft shitted on them at the end of last gen, focusing on Connect. They killed their relationships.
It's like I said, like the beginning of this generation, Microsoft did exactly what they did last gen. They went and got the Dead Risings and the Rises and the Sunset Overdrives and all these IPs they don't fucking own. So now when they want to go multi-plat, or when Microsoft is like, hey, I will fund the second game, but I now want to own the IP. Sunset Overdrive doesn't get made. Rise doesn't get made because they don't own those IPs. And the companies at the beginning was like, you was cool with it when at the beginning. Now all of a sudden you want to own the shit I own. No, we good. And then shit doesn't get made.
Y'all ain't gonna jump me.
It was like we gonna cut that whole thing out. We gonna own everything we make from here on out.
But let's keep it real. Let's be honest.
Sony owns all these IPs that all these second parties are making.
Exactly. That's right. To Z's point. It's not that they was working with second parties. That was the problem. The problem was they didn't have good deals, which again, to Z's point, and Sony is better at the gaming business than Microsoft.
Right, and that's why I said that. Like Sony is quick to be like, yeah, we'll make a game, but we own the IP. They've been doing that since the PS2 era. Mm-hmm. Microsoft never did that. During the entire 360 era, Microsoft never did that. Microsoft was like, you make us a game, we'll pay for it. You can put it wherever you want. They came into this era with that same mindset, and it fucked them because they didn't have any of the stuff that they were known for. Mm-hmm. And that's why they switched up they went with the Sony model, which is we will now own the stuff that we make. And like I said, that's where they needed to go. They just needed to do it quicker. At this point in time, it just was too far behind, and they're trying to play catch up as opposed to proactively making this move.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, well, here's a question then. Flip it. Next generation, say 2020, right? 2020. We can all agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Give and take. Yep. Now, I don't know what Xbot was talking about. Last of Us 2 is going to be a next PlayStation 5.
The cross-gen game.
Maybe cross-gen, but the game we saw was running on the Pro. That was already confirmed.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Okay, now, I played this. Now, what was it? I think it was last week we did a show. We were talking about that leak, well, from a very viable source. Some of those games that I can bring it up here again. The exclusives that was going to get released for Project Scarlet or whatever the case may be, Are you guys optimistic about Microsoft's future, and do you give them a chance? Because to be fair, you can be the biggest Xbox guy here. They can have another generation like they had this generation. Even though they are making money, but it's all about market share and mind share, you know what I mean? Amongst the dedicated hardcore guys, besides the Xbox fans, the Xbox has been the meme of this generation. Are you optimistic about their future? And even thinking of them acquiring the studios, or even saying, hey, now, you know, like they say, like crapping, like say that now that Microsoft has a seat at the big table, are you guys optimistic about their future?
I'm very optimistic about them.
Talk to me. Why?
Because one, man, they learned. It seems like they learned from their mistakes earlier this generation. Well, hopefully, but it seemed like they headed in the right direction. You know, with these studios and getting like. I remember you guys were saying they don't have any marketing deals. They're starting to get marketing deals again. I just think they're looking like they're serious. It was a little skeptical before, earlier in the gen. So I'm very optimistic about next gen, man.
Yeah, and actually this is the perfect bill to go with your answer. So overdone with the £5 or whatever that is. Undead Labs made State of Decay 1.5 Playground game only makes Forza. Ninja Theory's looking spooky with a reject that is Hellblade at first, and Compulsion Games made We Happy Few.
What? This nigga Neath know how to shit on somebody parade.
I just read the bells, man.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm sick of people who put Ninja Theory in the Holy Grail, and now that Microsoft acquiring them, motherfuckers want to question their ability to make games.
Come on, I told him that was
let me tell you something here, man. This generation will not repeat itself. I guarantee you it won't. All right, and I'm 100% with Mass in terms of that cloud shit. Don't shit on it. I know a lot of people, but a lot of people gonna catch L's. Now, it might not be to the extent that people want it, but that shit's gonna be functional, and it might supersede. It might supersede our expectation. But a lot of people gonna catch a lot of L's on shitting on that cloud, especially next gen, which that shit probably got pushed back to. We're not gonna see it this gen, but I guarantee you, on that next system, that whole system will be built around cloud technology and some dope ass, dope ass hardware.
I guarantee you. Than 4 Titans.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. But I do see another maybe 2 or 3 studios being purchased too. So they're gonna have their shit together.
Yeah, they're gonna acquire Obsidian, hopefully a few more.
This is the thing. Z is the one who started all that bullshit. I just want everybody to know that. He's the one who started all that the cloud is gonna make it as powerful as 12 Titans.
But Microsoft went out with be as powerful as like 30 Xboxes or some shit.
I was a BGST believer. I believed all that shit.
Hey, listen here. Listen, at least I'm fishing. I'm a true fuck nigga.
Hey, Z, you better get your ass a lawyer.
Always in question. I came out here and apologized. I didn't selling the cloud like it was crack. I know it. I apologize. Hold on. Shout out to Tony. He said, "Did y'all see Project Awakening, aka Scalebound 2.0? Project Awakening. Have anyone seen it?
AKA Deep Down."
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
That was more Deep Down than Scalebound.
Was that a PS4 game or was it multiplayer?
That was the Tokyo. Yeah, it was at the Tokyo Game Show.
What's
Basically,
right now?
like Scalebound.
What's it
looked
called?
Like Deep Down. Yeah,
it's called Project
Tokyo Game Show.
Project Awakening.
Project Awakening. Yeah, it's Deep Down.
Look up gameplay.
Who making it? Capcom?
No, it's not Capcom.
Nah,
it's not Capcom. Yeah, it looks like the Scalebound that everybody would have wanted.
I don't know about that.
It looks like Deep Down.
Yeah, it looks more like
just like Deep Down. Like it looks like Deep Down. That's what it looks like. It looks like Scalebound. It looks like fucking Deep Down.
I think just because
it looks good. It looks really good. It's an RPG. It's a dragon.
Yeah,
it literally looks like Deep Down.
Yeah, they also said that what do you call it? The creators from Yakuza showed up a new game too.
Oh yeah, that's one everybody talking about. So here's another thing dealing with the Xbox Scarlet and next generation. Here's my thoughts. In order for next generation to be successful, Microsoft needs not just the studios that they created to be dropping games. They need a lot of the games that Sony has gotten this generation, like the Yakuzas and the JRPGs and all that stuff. They need a lot of those games because those are filler games. those are killer games.
Those would be good if they come over, but I don't know.
Think I'll make a break. I don't think I'll make a break like next year.
Listen, I'm telling you, the reason why Sony has been thriving this generation is because
Microsoft fucked up.
Well, that's one thing, but think about
That's the main reason, Kratos. Don't act like it was JRPGs.
Wait, let me finish. Okay, Sony has pretty much won every single generation. Are you mean to tell me that the only reason that Microsoft lost this generation was because they fucked up? I mean, they were destined to lose this generation regardless worldwide.
They couldn't recover.
Worldwide, I mean.
They always lose worldwide. You know what I'm saying? Sony owns worldwide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let
me pay the bills.
Go ahead.
Vaughn Lamont, $4.99 for $5 holler. Said PlayStation Tokyo Game Show was fire. Why are people acting like Sony ain't gearing up for the next gen too?
It was pretty mediocre. But
if PS5 have compact, why but the next Xbox?
And that's what I've been saying. Like, if you can take all your games with you to the PS5, that's a huge seller right there.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to do. What do they call that shit?
You know what's crazy though?
Well, they're 100% going to do that.
You know what's crazy though is I am going to 1,000% bring receipts when we get to next gen for all these motherfuckers who talk about I don't play old games. All you motherfuckers is getting these hands. Look, I'm putting on notice.
Wait. Here's the problem.
Kratos, you ain't right from this now.
Hey, wait. Let me say
this. This is the L that catches up.
Yeah, listen. Here's the problem, right? You're going from one generation to the next, expecting time to stay still. It's like time waits for no man, right?
Talk that shit, Kratos.
It did not. It did not listen. Backwards.
All you motherfuckers getting these.
Did not help. Wait, no, listen. It did not help Xbox come back from this ass whooping. The cloud did not help Xbox. That X, the power did not help. None of that shit helped.
And nothing
Xbox
ever will.
From the next, well then, so
and nothing ever will.
Talking about,
I'm still telling you that all you motherfuckers who talk about I don't play old games, if you put a single fucking PS4 game in your PS5, you're catching these fucking hands. I'm telling you this right now.
BRM, I was on Twitter today, and motherfuckers was talking about Xenosaga 3 and shit. That came out, 1975? Come on, man. They still playing them old games. These hands.
Only the classics.
Hey, yo, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. I mean, it's safe to say the PS5 will be backwards compatible. So they'd be a fool not to.
Yeah, it's x86, so why wouldn't
that shit gotta be backwards compatible? Now, if that shit was not backwards compatible,
that's just anti-consumer at that point.
That's fucked up. That would be real fucked up.
Hey, hold on, let me see. Somebody just dropped something in the chat. Hold on, I'm looking past it now.
Overdone with the 2 pound thing. One thing you know with the PS5, greatness awaits.
Yeah, listen, it's hard. It's hard.
Are they gonna start off slow again next gen?
Huh?
Probably.
Are they gonna start off slow? Like with the exclusives again next gen?
Of course, they
probably.
But they coming. Here's the thing: will Microsoft spend their load and then be fucking
100%.
They'll see.
All this shit, right? This shit is classic. It's gonna keep going in the same exact fashion it is. So they're gonna start off slow. Then the only difference is they're gonna have all the cross-gen stuff. So The Last of Us, and that's what's gonna boom them is the stuff that's cross-gen. And then they're not gonna put out shit for about 3 years, and then they're gonna put out a whole bunch of bangers. This is the same fucking cycle. Microsoft is gonna try. Whether they succeed or not remains to be seen. But they're gonna try. This is a cycle. Never stops. Never fucking stops.
See, Kratos, I'm not going to let you take that L. I'm going to help you up, bro. See, Microsoft does need to get some JRPGs, man. Because even though, think about it like cell phones. We want to use the cell phone argument to help us explain why Xbox is now blurring the lines of generation, but we don't use the example properly. When it comes to cell phone, 99.9% of the motherfucking features y'all don't use. Y'all don't even know how to use. But because you can take a picture of an eagle taking a shit out of the sky 30,000 feet in the air.
Talk that shit, Moss!
They'll sell that shit to you, and then you'll buy the phone for $1,000. Meanwhile, you're only using 3 features. The same thing Microsoft got to do the same thing too. They got to spread the genre.
Get this fuck nigga off the mic.
Oh shit!
The genres that they're touching.
Be respectful,
Pose.
Nigga, Japan ain't even the market it used to be.
Hey, yo, be respectful, Pose.
That's why more of they JRPGs are being Americanized. So they need to work with Microsoft.
Hold on.
Mouse, wait.
Pay the bill real quick. Pay the bill real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you pay it.
No, I can't see.
When the last time you seen a Japanese character?
I'm on my phone. Listen.
Okay, fine. I know hold
on.
I hate to bring it to you, Xbox guys, but next gen's going to be the exact same as this gen. Sony has returned to the throne, and was Mick Chris over there with $199. Man, DRM, shut the fuck up.
God damn! Out of here, Lionel. Your last name.
Hold on, wait a minute. Jacob said if Xbox get RPGs, it will help put them over the hump next generation.
No, I didn't say help put. I said they need to.
Listen, this is what I said, right? They need JRPGs. Why? Because as much as guys claim that they don't care about the Tinky Winkies and the Jap Craps, when Monster Hunter came out, that motherfucker sold more copies on the Xbox than anything. So that's proof right there. Y'all motherfuckers.
Hold on, I'm finna mute my mic, but I'm coming back for you.
No, we agreed that they need JRPGs, but you said it was gonna put them over the hump next generation. That's what you said.
I say it will. It'll help, right? Because you got a whole class.
It will be good, but it will help.
You got a whole class of people that are not on the Xbox solely because most of them motherfuckers play JRPGs and Japanese action games.
Let's make this abundantly clear. There's three things. One, nobody's gonna buy a fucking Xbox to play Japanese games. Let's just get that shit out of the way. They're gonna buy PlayStations. That shit's not gonna change the next gen, the gen after. That shit's not gonna change.
You giving up a bunch of people.
That's just not gonna change.
A bunch of people.
You're a quarter DRM.
That's not gonna change. That's the first thing. Second thing, with the dude who told me to shut the fuck up, hit dogs will holler. Because obviously I hit a nerve with bringing up receipts and catching these hands. So you had to scream. That's cool. Do your thing. And the third thing is Microsoft's going to lose next gen. So all this shit is irrelevant. They lost before this fight even started.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the litmus is going to be. If they hit them 2.1 billions with a whole bunch of casual shit,
it don't matter.
They might win.
It don't matter. PlayStation, like Microsoft fucked up royally, so PlayStation slid in real slow, like real Jody like, and stole a girl. Like that's what happened. And Xbox hasn't done enough, and PlayStation hasn't fucked up enough for her to go back. It's just the reality of the situation. They lost a girl. That shit ain't coming back. They lost.
Mass. If you think
Mass, you're just a closet Xbox fanboy. Admit it. You're just a closet fucking.
I know. I got
Jack knows the truth.
I'm gonna say this. So I've been messing around with the Steam Link thing where you can play your games on your phone, your Android. I was even playing my Steam games on my goddamn Fire Stick. That shit is fire, right? 1080p. You know, good. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it was 60 frames per second, but the shit was good, nice and smooth. You're trying to tell me, Mass, that if Microsoft can get that technology to work outside of your home like they claim they can, and they put a whole bunch of casual friendly shit out there, and they tap that 2.1 billion potential market, that they're not going to have any chance of winning next gen in sales. And
who's buying the Xbox?
You ain't got to buy an Xbox anymore. Exactly. It's gonna be hardware agnostic because it's gonna be the service that's available on anything.
Which is exactly why they're not gonna win.
You consider the win as far as consoles.
They're gonna sell the little cell phone apps. Right, they're gonna sell the little cell phone apps. They're gonna sell all the on the go services. All that shit's gonna be true.
But then everybody gonna start talking money.
All those games are gonna be Sea of Thieves worthy. Like it's just the reality of the situation. So they're going to put out games that are going to be mediocre as shit.
Yeah,
because they can, and because they're trying to reach everybody and their mama.
Yeah.
So and then all the games that are for the consoles and for PC that they're going to put out. Yeah. Right, that shit ain't gonna have nobody to tell it to.
That's what I've been telling these motherfuckers, Mass. Where you been at? That's what I've been telling them.
Like the people on PC gonna buy we gonna buy regardless. Like we gonna buy whatever the fuck we want regardless. that shit ain't gonna affect us one way or the other. But the console only people who hate PC, they gonna buy the shit that they want, and if they can play most Microsoft games on their phone or their tablet or their laptop or whatever the fuck it happens through streaming service, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna get Game Pass or Xbox Now or whatever the fuck they want to call it, and they're gonna call it a day.
Hey, Mass, what you trying to say is the people like Z that's the console dudes who got PCs who stream dies every 5 minutes. They fucked, right?
Facts. Facts. It's a factual statement.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I'm trying to tell my Xbox dudes. Like, it's. I mean, there's going to be a lot of mediocre stuff coming down the pike, because when you have a situation where a State of Decay 2 can knock greatness, I want to say greatness, can knock greatness off the pedestal, even if it's for a brief moment, they're looking back at that and they're like, damn, okay, cool. And it's all about the residuals. It's all going to be all about the profit margins and everything. You know what I mean?
So y'all think they added 1,200 employees just to make average games?
Yes.
To make money. Money.
Hey, listen. And how many motherfuckers working at Rare? That got this shit these below average.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point, Z.
I'm sorry, man. I ain't been knock your head off fucking nigga. You asked for that one.
I think Ninja Theory gonna make a good game. Mm-hmm. I think what is
Initiative?
the coalition or not? What the fuck is that name of that studio? The big one.
The Initiative.
Yeah, I think the Initiative. I think they're gonna make.
They're gonna make that big hit.
Yeah, they're gonna make a good game. That shit ain't coming out to 2025.
Exactly.
They're gonna make a good game.
They're gonna make a good game every 7 years.
I think Compulsion.
That's
happened. It was kind of
puzzles the hell out of me.
Like, this is the thing. Compulsion had an opportunity. We Happy Few had potential. Right up until they tried to like conform to every fucking genre. When it was like BioShock Light, dope. When they tried to do all that the platforming and then side scrolling, like when they tried to do all the extra shit that they have nothing to do with what everybody got hyped about the game, they took an L. So Compulsion maybe. And then Undead Labs is gonna make 5,000 versions.
That's favorite game.
5,000 versions of State of Decay. I'm gonna buy all 5,000 of them bitches.
Hey, all right, hold on. Shout out to I've been had skills. He said, "Keep it 100, fuck niggas. Xbox jokers don't buy games. It's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter box. Basically,
first-person shooters games.
FPS aren't games. What the fuck?
I mean,
so y'all buy you saying?
No. I mean, I think that's what Microsoft's problem was. Is that, like Z say, before you try to become a jack of many, become a master of one.
Yeah, before you become a master of one. And again, I'm just and to be fair, I know I did sign a contract to go pony for the remainder of this generation, but I have an opt-out clause for next gen. I'm keeping it funky though. I don't think shit going to. Here's the thing. I'm going to be thoroughly upset with Microsoft if they come with their no generation left behind. I want my fucking Project Scarlet, whatever the fuck the new console's gonna be called, games to take advantage of that hardware. I don't want to worry about games coming out on fucking 2013 hardware.
Exactly, bro.
If that's the case, I'm done.
Yeah, because even PC has a limit.
It's gonna be no one left behind, I think.
Yeah, like even PC has a limit. They say, look, PCs from 3 years ago. So what? Too bad. So sad.
Microsoft is gonna do the PC model where they switch it up. They just gonna wait till everybody starts to forget that they said that shit.
Hold on 1 second. The Savage Burke, shout out to him. He said, "I hope they grow Undead Labs to about 100 to 150 devs." And Lionel Bolgen, he said, "Someone check post-up pulse. He might have overdose on insulin shots. Man, too quiet."
There's 5 million people on that game.
He said, I'm one of those players. He said user base or whatever. I made that account. I saw some sand. I saw a shovel. They gave me some directions to go catch the bait. I ain't boot that bitch back up since. You know what I mean? I ain't boot that bitch back up since. You know what I mean? So that was 5 million, user numbers. They don't really mean anything because I'm not playing no goddamn Sea of Thieves.
I remember being in your party. It was like, hey Z, we gotta get this black pig. And you're like, a black pig? I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. And I saw some sand. I had a shovel. Oh, I ain't about to do this shit here, bro. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'm about to hop back on games.
You remember that rant video?
I'm about to get back on games.
That was his best work on that one.
That was classic. That was classic.
I might have been under the influence. I can guarantee that wasn't a drug-free environment, that show. I can almost guarantee it. Oh, he said,
overdone with the 2 pounds. Maybe Scarlet will take advantage of the cloud, and that's what Post was alluding to.
Oh, yeah, it 100% will. The one that's going to be made strictly for the cloud.
Yeah, don't doubt the cloud. The cloud.
Oh, God.
Look, just because PlayStation's cloud sucks doesn't mean Microsoft's
well, let me explain something.
Let me explain something. I don't want to be a naysayer, but let's let this cloud shit ride, man.
Hey, man, hey, Kratos. You gotta realize, I'm here with a bunch of Christians. All these niggas believe in Jesus.
No,
they in the clouds all goddamn day.
If it wasn't for shit like Nvidia now, like GeForce Now,
exactly,
like that shit works. If it didn't work, I would be like, all right, yeah, you're right. But the shit works, and whether or not Microsoft goes all in or not, that's an entirely different subject.
They're going all in.
Whether or not they should. Also, an entirely different subject.
Yeah, exactly. That's
but
different.
That shit works.
But Matt, they want to ignore the NVIDIA Shield, but they want to bring up the PlayStation thing. That's the basis on why it wouldn't work.
you base your shit off PlayStation Network. That's
do it. Yoshida couldn't do it, so they don't
need the PlayStation Vita TV.
And that you know what's crazy is that shit like Vita TV and the Vita Online, like the cloud distribution, all that shit worked. But all of a sudden, none of this technology works again because PlayStation was like, "Fuck it, we don't want to do it. We don't want to pay for it."
No, it's not that. It's just a mere fact. What problem are you trying to solve with that? At the end of the day, I think this generation has shown us. No, listen. This generation has shown us people just want some good games and for companies to get out of their way. Look at Nintendo. They come in with the lowest, weakest handheld ever, and they're dominating because they just brought the games, and that's all people care about.
Yeah, but when we
Sony, they just brought the games, and that's
but when you say get out of their way, that means also, well, let me take my games where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the technology is going to fit. The question is, Dubs, how good are these games going to be? Not if the technology works. Trust me, the technology is going to work, bro. It's just how good are the games going to be.
And then McNeil Crisp J says, casual gamers don't give a damn about the cloud, but they sure do give a damn about price points. Right. Cyrus Burke, $2 says, did anybody see the PlayStation? The lineup tour was pretty meh. What's your response, Kratos?
Wait.
What's your response to that blasphemy?
He's talking about the Tokyo show.
The Tokyo Gaming Show. They announced like 15.
Did they bring greatness?
Exclusive. That was greatness. I kept tweeting it out all day.
Yeah, you tweet everything out.
Wait, listen. Samurai
Kratos' definition of greatness is concrete jungle, so his shit is a little skewed.
Samurai Showdown, right? Then you got Project.
Man, it's fun. Look, man, it's fun.
I forgot the one. I mean, it was a lot of great games, and this is more on top of the greatness that we can get.
Looking games.
Well, guess what? That man is better than anything that Microsoft dropped in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, what the fuck does that have to do with what we talking about?
It's just showing you. See, here's the thing, right?
I always want to bring up Microsoft.
Wait, we talking about PlayStation.
We give you the game. Okay, they give us the games, right? They give us the games, right? Y'all don't like the Yakuzas. Y'all don't like the other games.
So Microsoft gives us.
You keep this. You are dismissing all of these games.
You don't like it.
You're dismissing all of these games that actually sell and bring people over to the platform. You dismiss them.
When the last time a Samurai Showdown game sold?
Have you heard of a game called For Honor?
So have you heard of a game
called For Honor, right?
Yeah. All right. So how many times? Okay, so how many times? Listen to me. How many of these JRPGs is out there selling like hotcakes?
Have you not seen Yakuza, sir?
Hey, yo,
how many of these JRPGs is out there selling like hotcakes?
You better leave my JRPGs alone.
I mean,
I play JRPGs.
All of these games.
I'm playing.
I'm one of the 5 motherfuckers.
Have you heard of Monster Hunter, sir? Have you heard of Monster Hunter, sir? Have you heard of all of these?
How many of these JRPGs? Okay,
you are dismissing.
You are
dismissing all of these. You're dismissing all of these games and all of these genres.
You said,
because they're not shooters and racers.
No, I'm not. You said, and I quote, that these games, they announced like 15 games, and then you proceeded to name me three of them that actually sold well. So what are you talking about?
Wait, these games are not out right now.
Games like you're just missing games. I'm just missing games like you're just missing games. Microsoft is putting out State of Decay and Sea of Thieves and all that garbage, and you're just missing those.
Listen. I hope they put out a whole bunch of them games. I hope Microsoft put up a bunch of State of Decays and Sea of Thieves because that's what the fan base wants.
Oh shit! And sorry, they keep $5. Hold up, Jay. So quantity equals quality now. You could barely name any of those games this show.
Oh shit!
I already knew Kratos was gonna get into some wild defense mode shit.
Hold on.
Oh,
are we gonna have to question your integrity?
Hey, hold you like Kratos? 1, 2, 3.
Go in the damn town.
It's a goddamn expedition. This is a goddamn expedition.
I just named the games, right? Technically, right?
You named 2 out of the 15 you just
listen. Technically, Sony has no competition.
They
don't have to do
out of 15.
Right now, my man Kratos. I know he had a little follow. God damn. Woo. You like Kratos?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Boy trying to choke the shit out you just now, man. Real, god damn, we came off the top one on Kratos ass. God damn. Well,
overdone with the $2 Hall of
Shame. Kratos named like 13% of them.
Trying to help you. They like Dragon Quest 11 sold over 3 million already.
Where?
I don't know, but they said it. And he paid to say it, so it must be true.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna give him some credit. Let's see. That's 11 sales.
Nah, I like JRPGs, man. But
for the VG charts.
Like I said, I'm playing Star Ocean.
I keep going back to Monster Hunter. All of you frauds lied and say you don't care about them. And Monster Hunter sold better than any platform you
Wait. Dragon Quest 11 probably did sell 3 million, but it's across the Nintendo 3DS and PlayStation 4.
Right.
Shit,
right.
God damn.
Dragon Quest 11 been...
Hey, yo, overdone. We got Nethos.
Hold up. That was 1 year ago.
Nethos missing share my screen. I don't know why you keep doing this.
That was 1 year ago. All right, that's not anything to brag about.
Neil Chris J for the $5 holler says half them games probably still come out before Crackdown. Oh shit!
Hey, yo, show some damn respect.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
Look, Dirt, Crackdown's just now. Accept it.
I know, hey, bro. I accepted that shit in 2016, man.
2016. All right, you're an OG.
That shit, wow, man. But I mean, I don't know. PlayStation does have a bigger library of game catalog of goddamn games.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And maybe, like I said, maybe you may not care for them. I don't think. Listen,
it's a worldwide system.
Play this. I've been podcasting niggas for the last 6 years. They hyped up Sea of Thieves. So that was the goddamn game of the generation. So I'm not gonna quit. If you like some of those, you know, see them chopstick games. More cool. You know what I mean? Kudos to you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I listen. You literally had motherfuckers ready to fight me over goddamn Sea of Thieves. Once I said the Kraken was lacking, they threatened to render me unconscious. You know what I mean?
Some telling me you on some fuck shit right now.
He back,
you being real disrespectful to the Xbox Nation.
He just got done holding up Phil's feet. He's back.
Oh shit.
I'm working right now.
Gave Phil some Phil a foot massage. Don't worry about them, Phil. You gonna bring him a Scarlet.
This nigga Moss in the back of Rent Center doing they Excel sheets for a PlayStation 4. Fuck nigga.
We doing their taxes and shit.
We back there doing tax. I just need 3 more months with this PlayStation 4. I got your taxes and everything.
Finally beat out of
taxes, man. Come on, boss. You say you doing their taxes.
Hey, yo, funny shit, yo. Another motherfucking Aaron's called me up the other day. They was like, hey, if you want to take this PlayStation back, it'll only be $350. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Wait. Hold on. Who on this panel said Sea of Thieves was bigger than PUBG? Who the fuck said that?
Oh, it wasn't on this panel.
That was Jez.
But I'm not going to be messy.
Yeah, I don't condone that message.
I know Jez Gordon said it was a game.
Oh, damn.
But he said that before.
No, he said Sea of Thieves is going to be the next.
It was going to be the PUBG of 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Or 2017, whatever that was.
Yeah, I don't condone that message. I don't want no parts of that. I knew that was an L when he said it.
Man,
that's just too much. That's it's. I mean, it's you can be. Well, that's just too much loyalty. I don't know what that's beyond fan.
Speechless.
That's beyond fanboyism.
Hey yo, that's beyond. That's beyond Z, huh?
He was not a hell of a father, Z. He was not a hell of a father.
Yeah, man. See, like I said, it was dogs. Well, I guess for good news, then what do you call it? What do you call those motherfuckers? Who said? What do you call it? Goddamn game. Fable 4 is being made by Playground Games. Kind of because I'm looking forward to that. I wish we could have saw something for it. Also, they did say that Ninja Theory would have a game coming out next year, and Rare will be announcing a new game next year.
Yeah, April.
I got no faith
in April. They're announced something in April.
Yeah, so
bro.
And that's another studio. We don't even know the name of that second studio. That Playground Games.
A fuck after Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Playground Games.
My bad.
Yeah, okay. Mega said motherfuckers Sea of Thieves better than Spider-Man. So
what?
Apparently the game generation, but Spider-Man has clunky controls.
Oh shit.
Hey yo.
Oh no.
I don't want no parts of this one.
Yeah. What y'all think?
I don't want no parts of this.
What y'all think if Microsoft does pick up Obsidian? What y'all think about that?
That's a good one.
That's good. That's a positive.
Listen, it's always a good one, always a pot. If they let these studios be them, they'll be in there fucking micromanaging. Let them go out. And listen, this goes back to what I said last year. I said these studios are artists. You have to let them go in there and create. Remember, I gave you guys an example. I said when you think of Turnitin, whoever, you just thinking of card games. Motherfucker literally told me on that side of the pond that they didn't go to school. They put themselves $100,000 in debt just to make card games. Now you see, you know, when you again, what do you call it? Playground Games. The next big game is going to be Fable. So it is what it is. They just gotta let those studios go in there and create. You know what I mean? Don't just leave them just making. You know, they make a hit game. Don't leave them on. That's the problem Microsoft does. A studio, a bunch, they turned down Halo. They just wanted to leave them on Halo, you know what I mean, and not let them go out and create other things, because they can't do that same thing again, you know what I mean? If they can learn anything from their mistakes, because again, even if they buy 6 new studios, if they don't have those studios just making one game, it still fucking defeats the purpose. That's what they can't do, you know what I mean? And so we're gonna see.
Supposedly, that's what they're doing. They letting them be more creative. That's supposedly.
But here's the thing: this is not their first time to the goddamn dance.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. The original Xbox came out in fucking 2001. What years? Then in 20 fucking years in the business, you damn near, and you're just now. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what the fuck are we doing here?
This is what. Oh shit! Never mind. I'm still eating. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying we about to get the hell about it. I'm just saying, like, you know, you got damn near 20 years up on your jacket in the video game console. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like your first. Like motherfuckers like Microsoft with white gloves on, like they new kids and blah. They've been here damn near 20 fucking years.
Yeah, that's fair.
The original Xbox came out in 2001. It's about to be 2019.
And can I say something on top of that, man? I'm sorry. Yeah. We as Xbox fans, I'm a disgruntled Xbox fan. I'm shaking my fist at the window, but we gotta keep it real, man. Like, I know there was a lot of shit that happened, like we changed regimes, and then there, media bias. I get that, but stop making excuses for a $500 billion motherfucking company, okay? Stop trying to feel sorry for them. They got a war. If they wanted to change this shit around, media bias or not, they could pay that and shit turned around tomorrow. Stop it. And just hold your feet to the fire and ask for better. That's it, period.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm going to finish my Chinese food.
Okay. Anybody want to say anything before we get the hell up out of here? Dirt, you want anything to add to that before we get the hell up out of here?
Nah, man, I ain't got shit, man.
Ain't got shit. He said he funky for the damage control. I can dig it, man.
Oh, you got nothing to say, Dirt? Hey, Dirt, we're gonna do a surprise announcement. Go ahead, Dirt. I'm eating.
Huh? Oh, shit, man. I'm part of Scram Punks, man. You know, on Wednesday nights at 9:30.
Word.
Shameless plug.
We ain't did one of the 8
months. Okay. Keep excluding post-up, fuck niggas. Okay, watch. Wait till my channel come up. All y'all gonna be on. All y'all gonna be like, post up, get on my show. I'm gonna be like, Scram Punks. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just wait the next 20 years for him to post a video.
Yeah, man.
You know what, Nethers? You keep coming at me. We're gonna have a problem, player. I hear you, player.
Check us out at 9:30 Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying?
What you eating? Some pork grinds?
Yeah.
Eating some pickle feet, ain't you? Chillin's eating motherfucker right now. Got the little crackers and hot sauce and everything.
Hold up. Shout out to everybody in the motherfucking chat. You guys who kept the chat live. I got one of the livest audience around. Y'all motherfuckers be
Yo, the chat be crazy.
I let them go in there and cut up, man. I let them do them, man.
Yo, I don't know why every time I jump on, they get the roast of me.
Look, the chat ain't shit. Yeah, ain't never gonna be shit. Just want to put that out there.
And don't forget, Friday after Thursdays is multiplayer, but Friday is Mr. Parker's a dumbass. All right.
Wow, I can't believe
y'all didn't shoot one last Friday, did you?
No, I was out of town. I was out of town. But we got one coming this Friday. Friday, I'll be back. My flight's early. It ain't gonna get delayed. Flight's at like 2:00, so I'll be back in town, and we can proceed to show the world how this stupid Parker is and how we gotta deal with this shit all the time.
Y'all got a show calling a nigga a dumbass,
and he shows up every time.
Dumbass show up to the
every damn time like clockwork.
Look, people would say this is Mass's show. This is Parker's show.
Parker's show.
It's his show. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, don't do me. I'm just hosting. I am providing the platform.
Yeah, he hosts and he gives him gold stars when appropriate.
Give him gold stars.
I give him gold stars. Live on there. I give his ass gold stars. When he don't say something stupid, I give him gold stars. He can also lose his gold stars throughout the show. So far, his highest show is like 2, I think.
Oh God! You don't think you're reading that one?
He said Pulse has on all black leggings that says Phil's Little Monster on the back. God damn, bro. Okay.
Who said that?
Shout out to Ross Chetty. He said Pulse has on all black leggings that says Phil's Little Monster on the back.
Oh, wow, okay. You got on a pair of stilettos, a leotard with a Kango doing yoga in front of your sheet, a fuck nigga.
That's a W.
Hey, Ross said you a fool for that one, bro. God damn.
Disrespectful.
This one that come, I know he a hell of a father.
That's funny.
I know he a hell of a father for that guy.
You just gotta fight that man. Like
ain't no talking back to that.
Nah, you just gotta fight that man. This is one time.
Hey yo, for those who just tuning in right now, I just dropped part 1 to this podcast. It got split up in 2, whatever reason. Here go the link to the first show. Right there that we did earlier. You can check it out. But listen, thank you all for rocking out with Xbox Beastfire. We back again next Monday. He back at it again. He's laughing my ass off. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You knocked his head off with that one right there, bro.
He stepped over him like Iverson did to Lou back in the day, man.
He said, not the game that I love, but practice, bro. Yeah, but I'll be back tomorrow with some more foolish things. What's tomorrow? Tuesday? Wednesday? What's tomorrow?
Yeah,
Tuesday. Tuesday.
Okay, we'll be back with something tomorrow. I think a dog shit ass podcast. So we hopping on some PUBG later. What we doing? I ain't gonna lie.
Spider-Man.
I want to be Spider-Man, so I want to beat Spider-Man. But I ain't gonna lie, they fixed PUBG. PUBG work like a motherfucker now, bro.
That's what I heard, man.
That shit fun. I ain't gonna
lie. They saying that Call of Duty shit, that Blackout shit, fire, man. Like that beta on the PlayStation.
Man.
I can't.
Shit like PUBG.
That shit isn't even like Battle Royale. It's just a big team battle mode, basically.
No. This shit Battle Royale. I was watching it on Twitch. That shit like Battle Royale.
Let me go check it out.
But the beta for the PS4, the beta.
Yeah, it's Battle Royale, but they need to fix the time to kill. That shit is like an hour and a half long. Like you gotta empty like 17 magazines in the motherfucker if they got level 3 armor. Like, that's how this.
Yeah, but isn't it like 40 on 40? So one team wins anyways.
Yeah.
No, like what I saw was an 80-person battle royale.
Yeah, it's 80-person solos.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, Battlefield is 64. Battlefield.
So there's no squads on that battle royale?
No. Yeah. It's like 4-man squad.
Okay. Yeah, 4-man squad. You can either do 4s or you can do solos. Just like normal battle royale. Yeah. Except for it runs better because it's on an engine from 1983.
See, what's with that battle royale? What's with that expand your mind?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna be back Wednesday. We back there banging. I sent you a video. Watch that shit there. That's some new shit.
I got it.
Yeah, we're gonna be back Wednesday. Back Wednesday with the foolish and fuckery. We'll be back Wednesday. I promise you, this Wednesday, you guys are gonna expand your mind. Also, too, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do the NBA 2K League. When 2K come out tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow.
All right, so we get niggas to Friday, the payday. They might get paid on Friday, whatever the case. We're gonna run the league. If you're interested in running hopping the league, hit us on Twitter. But anyway, we out here. We catch you guys during the week and everything else that we do here. I'm looking at some of this battle royale. I'm trying to see what the hell's different. This looks like Call of Duty. Like, what's the difference?
Yo, watch out for us bullies, yo. We coming in this new year.
Yeah, for real, man.
We coming all for the rest of this year. Next year, we all gonna be at E3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We in the building. We out here.
Don't make Nugs refund their tickets, man.
Hold on, I just forgot one thing. I want to give a shout out to Ian again, who came way up to California to see me, meet and greet. Met him, him and his wife. Shout out to you guys, and also, man, screw Delta. Delta fucked them up on their flight. I'm about to put a tweet out, but anyway, shout out again, my man Ian O. I'm gonna put his link to his Twitter. He be doing massive giveaways and shit. I met him Saturday, man. Came way out to California.
Big up, Ian.
Shout out to Ian. We out of here, man. Bacon. Bacon. Give me all.